Howdy again, y'all. The first video is already loaded, which was amazing because it usually takes all day. So I guess my internet speed out here today is pretty fast. I'm going to do a quick walk around. Well, maybe it won't be so quick. Showing you my project updates and my garden updates. And I'm going to start right here where I do a lot of my videos from, at this table where I set up my tripod for my camera. Look at this that I trimmed. This was growing out of the ground. I have no idea what it is, but look at this. It looks like bark growing out of the trunk of that. I have never seen anything like that. I don't know what it is. Any of y'all know, let me know, because I'm curious. It's pretty, but I have no idea what it is. Okay, let's walk around. This old pecan tree that a hurricane blew over is still alive and doing well. I want to get my tractor jack and jack that up right there where it's touching the ground and put a cinder block or something under there so it won't start rotting there. I like that old tree. Even though it's weird laying on the ground like that, the roots are still in the ground, and it's been like this for at least 10 years. My ginger is doing good. I am going to put it in the ground very soon. Very, very soon. This is some limbs I trimmed off the pecan tree. Limbs that slapped me in the face when I was mowing. I'm going to cut them up in smaller pieces and use for kindling for smoking wood. I got some bigger limbs off the pecan tree that I'll use for the regular smoking. This is a project I started using some old lumber I had. I'm going to make a bed. I was going to put the ginger around this tree, but the lumber I had was 6 foot long, and it's not long enough because this old oak tree has roots. You can see that has the ground very unlevel. See how the frame I made is sitting off the ground on just about every side, or probably on every side. See that? And I have moved it and adjusted it and wiggled it around, and 6 foot's just not enough. I'll probably need 8 foot or so. And I can't dig into that soil to plant the ginger because it's solid roots down there. And ginger grows from bulbs. It's the bulbs of the ginger, which grows underground, that you eat and use for medicinal purposes and so forth. Let's mosey up here to my 3 nearest gardens, and I'll show you an update on them. I'm sorry, I keep pointing the camera at the ground. Here's the first one. These 2 rows right here, 1 row on either side of this trellis, is cucumbers. I'm hoping to get a lot of cucumbers so I can make kosher dill pickles and more bread and butter pickles. 4 rows in the middle is beets. I love pickled beets, so I'm hoping for a good crop here. Right here is radishes, and I've already picked a few out of there. And I've got more planted right here where that empty spot is. They should be coming up in a day or 2. Right along here I've got 6 cabbage. I've got 16 cabbage total out here this year. The reason I got so many is I am going to make a lot of sauerkraut, and sauerkraut lasts forever if you can it. So, and I love sauerkraut. My tomatoes are doing good. The ones that was here already, only 2 survived. The ones in the middle are dead. And these are all cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes. When I pruned my heirloom tomatoes, I had probably 8 cuttings, I think it was, that I took from the mortgage lifter tomato. And just for the heck of it, I put them in my propagation tub here. And 4 of them, 4 out of the 8, are going to be good. So I'm going to be transplanting those soon over here, even though they're not cherry grape tomatoes. I'm going to stick them where these dead tomatoes are. My grapes about done to do for the year. Soon I'll be pruning them back for the winter. I would love to redo them. I've got to get a taller trellis for them. After I prune them back, I'll work on a taller trellis for them. I need one 2 or 3 feet taller than these cattle panels, and I would like to spread them further apart, but I kind of don't have the room for that right now. I've got my camper right there, and if I were to decide to pull it out, I've got to pull it out right through here and around between that big oak tree right there on the left and that pecan tree on the right, and then back to the left across the back of my property, go across there, and then out the second driveway on the other side. So I can't expand this out any further, or I wouldn't have room to swing it around. All right, let's mosey over here to another garden. Right here, these 2 rows planted closest to the right is more cucumbers. I've got this trellis here for them. This is just a 8-foot long, 2 8-foot long rows there. This is a second planting of radishes right in there that have come up already, and right across the front here. These are my white onions, and they're doing great. All but one of them came up. One right in that empty spot there didn't come up. All the rest of them did. These are my Heatmaster and Heatwave tomatoes, and I got tomatoes everywhere on them. There's a couple in there. There's one, there's two, there's two, there's one right, where is it? Somewhere I'm looking at it, but I can't see it in the camera. It's somewhere. Let me put my hand by it. There it is, right there. There's one right there. How the heck? Let me get the camera up higher. Can you see it? I can't see the camera. There's a glare on it now. But there's 4 right there. There's... Where the heck are they? 1, 2. Let me back up, but I can't see them on the camera. There they are. 1, 2, 3 there, and one back there, and one over there. And these were my heirloom tomatoes that I pruned back at the end of summer, and they're doing great. They hadn't done anything yet, but they're blooming. They're just now starting to bloom. There's some more blooms up there, some more over there. So I'm hoping to get a bunch more Phoenix Beefmaster and Mortgage Lifter tomatoes off of them. This was my shallot patch, and I thought they weren't going to do anything. It took them forever to come up, and I've got them planted all the way across here, and I see right here one just came up the last couple of days, and one right there is just now popping up. One right in there is just now popping up. There's some more. Oh, there's one that's just starting to put out a green on top, so maybe they're all going to be all right. They're just being slow. There's another one just now starting. See that? So maybe they're going to be all right. But my purple onions are not doing diddly, and I don't know why. I got 3. One right there, one right there, and one right there, wherever it is, right there. And I got onions planted all in here. There's one. Where the heck is it? I can't see anything through here. Let me put my hand down there, right there between my fingers. See that? It didn't sprout. I'll stick it down in the ground a little bit more and see if it'll come on. There's another one that looks dead right there. There's another one that looks dead. I don't know what happened to my purple onions. My habaneros are still going crazy. I love them. They're not getting as big as they were, but they're still producing. Can you see all the little green ones? There's green ones all over that thing. And that one over there that never did much, it's still producing, but it's still not doing much. That plant never grew. I don't know why. This one did. All right, let's mosey on over to the next garden. This thing here, y'all tell me what that is. I thought it was a squash plant that came up volunteer because I had squash planted in here last. But it doesn't look like a squash now. It's growing all over the place. I'm not sure what it is. It's blooming. I reckon soon I'll find out what it is when it starts bearing fruit. Look at that big old bumblebee. Can you see that? See him? Well, he's flying away now. Anyway, I've got more cabbage here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green cabbage there. A purple cabbage there. Purple cabbage there. Let me back up a little. And 1, 2, 3 more cabbage there. Got 3 eggplants. 1, 2, 3. And something's eating on them. I need to get that stopped. And whatever this running plant is, I need to get it off my eggplant because I don't want it messing with my eggplant. My bell peppers are still doing. My jalapenos, look at that, they're still producing. I'm going to leave them out all winter. There's a bell pepper right there, see that? Let me get it, right there you go. There's some little ones over there, out in there. And that one never did much. It produced a few. It's got a few little on it now, but it didn't do near as much as this bigger one. All right, let's mosey. Oh, let me come back here. Here's my picnic table. I painted it Bourne white last year. It needs to be clean and repainted. And look at here. The 3 porches I built and the sidewalk, I finally got them painted. Finally got those suckers painted. I sure do enjoy sitting out there in the morning early and in the evening. And this lattice work here, I'm going to paint it. And I'm going to cut it, trim it, and put a backing on it. And it's going to be the skirting around my camper that I live in. Because even though it doesn't get cold down here on the Texas Gulf Coast like it does where many of y'all live, it gets cold to me. Like I said in several videos, anything below 81 degrees is cold to me. And so I got to get a little more protection in that camper in the winter time because it freezes my butt in there. It's got a central heat unit with ducts in each room, but it's gas, so I don't use it. I just use space heaters, electric space heaters. My roses are doing beautiful. The ones up here. Here I got more radishes. Some of them are ready. My 2 chrysanthemums are doing great. Had another one right in here. It died. I don't know what happened to it. It gave up the ghost. Look at that rose. Let me take you to this other rose bush. This is my favorite. This is a antique rose from the Rose Emporium in Independence, Texas. Look at the beauty of this thing here. Look at that. That is so pretty. Last year I tried propagating it and they all died. I don't know why. Let me take you back around to the front of the camper again. Show you some more roses I propagated last December. And I need to get them in the ground. I just don't know where to put them yet. Sorry to be wandering back and forth here, retracing my steps everywhere, but I just remembered these I want to show you. Butterfly bush here is doing great. I'm going to propagate probably 10 off of it this winter. But look at this rose bush. Look at that. It's a tiny rose, but isn't that beautiful? That is the prettiest rose I've ever seen. And that one, I made from a cutting probably in early summer. The house next door that's for sale over there, this rose was growing in the front yard of it, and somebody she had mowing her grass for mowed it right over. It was about 3 feet tall, and they mowed it right over, and it was blooming at the time they mowed it. I don't know what they were thinking, but I went over there and I admired the rose the whole time she had it. She kept telling me to dig it up and bring it over here, but I didn't. I didn't want to do that because it's the only pretty thing over there, but it's gone now. But after they mowed it over, I picked up 2 cuttings that had been chopped up by the lawnmower and put them in my propagation tub. And look how tall this thing is. It's 4 feet tall, and I just started it from a cutting in early summer. So that thing's not but like 4 or 5 months old, and it started off from a 3 or 4 inch long cutting, and it's 4 feet tall now. This purple rose is from one that I had up front, and it needs to be deadheaded. That rose has done its due, and it's about 3 feet tall. All right, let's mosey on back around to the front. That's all the cactus I had in that one bed I pulled out. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pots of cactus, and there's still some cactus left over there. See, that started off with 1 leaf that I picked up at the family ranch up near San Antonio, and it grew all over the place, and I ran out of pots to put it in. Otherwise that one would be out too. As soon as I get some more pots, I'm going to get that one out. But man, love, I'm still picking cactus needles out of my legs. Those things are vicious. All right, we'll mosey around to the front now. Sorry to take y'all on such a goose chase here. Get back up here where we was at when I turned around and went back. Showing you my roses. Let me show you another rose. This one was an antique rose also. When I bought this place, on either side of the driveway, there's a fence across the front when I bought it. And on either side of the driveway, there was 2 posts on either side. And there was a rose growing between 2 of them that I didn't know about. This place was a foreclosure, and the weeds were 3 or 4 foot tall, so I was mowing everything. And I mowed this rose bush here for 2 years before I one day noticed there's a rose bush. And so I stopped mowing it. And look at it now, y'all. It was up by the driveway. I had to get my driveway widened in 2017. So I moved it back here. And look at it. That thing is all over the place. I want to get some cuttings from that and make a bunch more of it. All right, now let's go back out here. I got 6 more cabbage in this bed. And that gives me a total of 16. That little one there is not doing any good. Can you see? Oh, look at that snake. Did you see that snake? He went up in there and took chrysanthemum somewhere. Where the heck did he go? It's a big snake. There he is. See him in there? Well, he keeps moving. There he goes. There he goes. See? He moves fast. Anyway, that little cabbage there ain't doing much. But see, something keeps digging in the beds here. That one there has been dug up 3 or 4 times. And since yesterday evening, something dug in here again, all the way across. But that's that for now. Also, there's some more of those cactus. There's 2 tubs there. And right there's my campaign sign, the only one I got this year. And y'all, I urge you to copy me and vote for Trump and Pence. Otherwise, we're going to lose our country fast if they don't win. But I think it's going to be a landslide victory in their favor. Here's 2 more pots. Got 2 there, 2 over there, the one over by the camper. That's 5, and I ran out of pots. Shortly, when I start my propagation tub up for the winter, I'm going to get some of the, I'm going to cut these back here that's coming up from the ground, and they're coming up from the trunk, not from the root. And this is a new pear tree. That's a pear tree there. That's a pear tree there, and that pear tree there is dead. But it's got some more coming up from the trunk of it that are still alive. So I'm going to get cuttings from these 3 pear trees and try to have a bunch more pears. This morning I came around here and put all this garbage up. I don't know what these things are. One of them here, maybe this one here, is 12 feet tall. Look at that. Look at how big that thing is. But we had a lot of rain out here lately, so it made it pretty easy to pull up with my bare hands. Now I need to clean this bed out here. I got so much cleaning up. There's Callie. Hey, Callie, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Got all my campaign signs I need to get rid of. All this stuff came out of the house except the campaign signs and the generator. Generator is in this storage unit, and it flooded, and it's no good now. That was a brand new generator just before the flood. I used it a grand total about 15 minutes before the flood. Then we had to evacuate, and it's been no good ever since. It was, I can't remember, close to 7,000 bucks. It was big enough where I could run the whole house, AC or heat, the freezers, the stove, everything. It's all electric house. I could run everything plus the water well all at the same time. But it's dead now. This is a pet cemetery, and it's a mess. I got another antique rose in here. I need to cut this old tallow tree out. There's one right there. And another one right here. I need it, whatever that is, it needs to come out. It came up by itself. My banana trees are looking good. Hey, Callie, kitty. My other picnic table just collapsed on me, so I'm using those boards for other projects now. That's where the 4 on that bed around that big oak tree came from. But they're only 6 feet long, and I need 8 or 9 feet. So I'll have to find another use for them. That's another antique rose there. It was beautiful a couple of weeks ago, but it's kind of not looking so pretty now. This is a pretty pink rose there. I got campaign signs all over the place. I need to haul all that junk off. This is a pretty red rose here. Look at that. And right there's that purple rose that cutting came off of that I showed you earlier that I propagated, and got another purple rose bush now. Got all this daggum Mexican whatever in there, Mexican tulip or whatever, that stuff. Once you get it, it's almost impossible to get rid of. It's worse than a weed. Same thing with that sago palm. See all that around the bottom? Those are babies that came up around the bottom. I'd love to tie that onto my truck and pull it all out of the ground, but I heard once you got them, it's hard to get rid of them. They're pretty, but I don't want it that close to the house. This place is a mess. But y'all, it's looking a lot better than it did 3 years ago after the flood. I finally got this pile of junk all dealt with. Now I need to come over here and mow it. I see a little bit more I still got to pick up. There's something metal right there. A couple of cement blocks. I need to get all that out before I mow. But I got, oh, there's a salt shaker right there. All of this crap needs to go in a burn pile or in the trash. Had that big board there that got flooded, and now it's coming apart. Had a pub table for my dining room table, and these tall chairs was for it. The table got thrown away, and somehow the chairs didn't. But they all need to go in a burn pile. The whole thing needs to go in a burn pile. But anyway, I've been all the way around the house. I got all that to clean up, cut up, clean up. That used to be my tropical garden right there. And it's still got some semi-tropical. It's still got some semi-tropical plants in it, but I haven't tended to it in a long time. ever since the flood. I hadn't done anything. There's my split leaf philodendron. There was some black elephant ears and whatever those are, caladiums or something. I forgot what they're called. There's some lantana right there. There's some black elephant ears and some green elephant ears. There's a green elephant ear there. The black elephant ears was over at this side. It's probably gone. I don't see it. It used to be a pretty garden. Anyway, that's that for now. Oh, I got poison ivy doing great out here. It's just thriving, doing wonderful. I keep cutting it back and it keeps coming back. It's pretty persistent. I got the place looking a whole lot better than it did, but I still got a lot of work to go. Do a little bit at a time, a little bit every day. I better stop talking. This thing's already 25 minutes, and I sure didn't expect it to get that long. Y'all take care, behave. Thanks for hanging out with Stan for a while.